Green's epic crash out on a lighter note. Oh, yeah, you guys, this is why we play. We shouldn't, but we shouldn't. It's not right, but this is really why we do it. This is what makes it so rewarding. We live for this. Do we live for this? Or do we live for this? This is why we get out of bed. This is why we brush our teeth. This is why we do it. This is why we go to work. It makes it all worth it. Marjorie Greene, never been a fan. Never been a fan of women in politics. Better yet, never been a fan of women in general. Pause. Never been a fan of women in politics. Never been a fan of a woman in Congress who's going to be the leader of the populist movement. Sorry, not my first choice. And me and Marjorie, we've had our feud. We've had our beef in the past. Tucker Carlson's given me a hard time. He says, why do you attack Marjorie? She's sincere. Okay, well, she's an idiot. So she could be sincere. She's an idiot. And we have problems. We've had problems. And just when I thought I was going to have to put that aside for the sake of the movement, I was going to have to get along with Marjorie Taylor Greene, she reminded me that I'm always right. She resigned from Congress last week, and everybody wondered why. They said, does she have this sophisticated political agenda? Does she have these ambitions for higher office? Is she running for governor? Is she running for president? She has surged to 6% chance of being the nominee on Polymarket. Stop the presses. Put a stop on the Marjorie Greene options and calls. No. She didn't resign because she wants to run for president. She resigned because it got too hard. Because the pressure got to be a little too much. Southern belle, early hominid, Georgian girl, can't play in the man's game? Can't play in politics? If you can't take the heat, maybe it's time to get back in the kitchen. Can't take the heat? Can't take the pressure? Maybe it's time to get back in the kitchen. Thanksgiving is upon us. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes. Thanks. So Marjorie Greene, she's out. She left Congress. And like I said, everybody thought she's going to run for president. And it turns out she just quit because she freaked out. And she went on Twitter today and she had an absolute typical female meltdown. Typical female meltdown. This is why you can't put women in politics. Thank you, Marjorie. I really should send her a thank you note. Thank you, Marjorie, for proving to everybody this is why you can't let women in politics, because they just cry. Because they just cry. When shit gets too hard, they just cry. And you can't cry in politics because we have to save our country. We need the police. We need the National Guard to break the backs of our enemies. And it turns out you can't cry. You can't just have an emotional crash out. You can't have an emotional bitch fest because you're upset. This is what happens. So Marjorie is on Twitter. Mike Cernovich, who I don't even like, left her a very innocent reply. He said, you should have continued and served out your full term. You should have finished what you started. And Marjorie launches this big screed. She says, well, I should serve out my term. Why don't you run for Congress? That's what she says. You should get off your ass and run for Congress. I've been fighting so hard. She goes and she says, what do you want? You want me to die like Charlie Kirk? Is that what you want? You want me to get killed like Charlie Kirk? Are you kidding me? A congresswoman. To Mike Cernovich, all he said was, you really should have finished out your full term. It's only 2 years. That's not a long time. 2 years? You're halfway through. Just, hey, run through the finish line. Run through the first baseline. He said, just finish. She goes, why? You want me to get killed? Why don't you get off your ass? Stop being a keyboard warrior and put the phone down and you run. Oh my gosh. Women in politics. And you know, the only thing that I regret is that I wasn't with other people. I wasn't with the men, so we could all kind of share the knowing glance, like, get a load of this psycho bitch crashing out. Get a load of the emotional meltdown. Oh boy, here we go. That's the only regret. I was like in bed on Twitter. Then it gets better. She comes back for more. She can't help herself. She comes back for seconds. She's a glutton. She's a woman of consumption. She comes back for more. She quote tweets her own tweet, her own crash out on a different account. On her official Congresswoman account, the second account, and she says, I'll say this in the nicest way I can. Fuck you. And then she launches into yet another tirade, this time directed at men specifically. She said, typical man, typical Republican man. You expect your dinner on the table, but I've been telling you that the trash hasn't been taken out and the dishes aren't clean. Then she closes it by saying, I'm going to tell you, Republican men, make your own dinner, asshole, and clean up when you're done. Okay? The Congresswoman from Georgia, Representative Green, this is a sitting Congresswoman. She says, such a typical Republican man. Make your own dinner, ass, and clean up when you're done. It's like, oh my gosh. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thanks. Christmas came early, man. Black Friday came early. What a gift to us misogynists. What a gift. Thank you. A gift to the misogynistic men in your life. Classic example of why you can't have any women in politics. Love it. Thanks, Marge. Seriously. You are the gift that keeps on giving. We love it. I really appreciate it. So we'll talk all about that. Honestly,